People up and down the coast are still waiting to see what the storm is going to do. But since Dennis vacated our area earlier this week, it's been delightful. Let's check in with meteorologist Mark Avery in the Skywatch Weather Center for the first forecast. Mark?
Well, Dennis is struggling to stay alive right now out around the Outer Banks, still spinning up. One of the things that's indicating that he's still got some breath in him and still some heartbeat there is a few storms firing up near the center of circulation. Not much as far as rainfall and cloud cover around Dennis right now. You can see on the satellite some of our high cloud cover we have in place over our skies are because of Dennis, and that's also responsible for our northwesterly and northerly winds across the area. But really not much. Dennis all day has really been looking more like a nor'easter instead of a tropical system, but the Hurricane Center is keeping the tropical storm warnings up from Surf City northward to Chincoteague, Virginia, with gale warnings farther north than there, up and towards the Jersey coast. As of 5 o'clock, the latest coordinates on Dennis are 35.5 north, 74.0 west, 90 east of Cape Hatteras. West movement very slowly, about 3 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are at 60 miles per hour. However, some of the Hurricane Hunter data that I was taking a look at indicate that winds may be a little bit less than that. We'll take a look at where Dennis is going next and how it affects our weekend coming up in a few minutes, Murph.
All right, Mark. In fact, the old slogan was, the life you save might be your own.
That's right, and you can never have enough T-shirts.
And that's the truth.
Especially in this weather. T-shirt weather. Man, Dennis really, on the good side, Dennis brought us really comfortable weather out there. You can't complain about that. You can't complain about the rain because it's too much at one time.
Yeah.
But the million-dollar question everybody wants to know is Dennis coming back here? Well, we'll answer that question, and we'll take a look at the weekend ahead coming up next. Everything that has to deal with what's going to affect our weather has to deal with Dennis for the short and long term. Short term wise, Dennis is bringing us a few high clouds out there. The cloud cover that we do have in place, notice some of the higher clouds spinning in on the western side of the circulation of Dennis. Most of the heaviest stuff has stayed well out to shore, or way out over the ocean, and you can see in the late afternoon hours a few storms trying to fire up. That's why Dennis was looking earlier today more like a nor'easter. It has a stationary front on it, which is something tropical systems do not have in general, and it also was looking very sickly as far as tropical development, but there are those few showers. That's the one thing. If anything is keeping Dennis as a tropical system, it's these storms that are firing up near the center of the circulation. Other than that, Dennis would not be a tropical storm. It would be more like a nor'easter. And because it is still a tropical storm officially, it's still tropical storm force winds about 60 miles per hour officially. The Hurricane Center has kept the tropical storm warning north of Surf City up to Chincoteague, Virginia, and gale warnings north of Chincoteague, Virginia, up and towards New Jersey. Nothing along our coast, with the exception of the Onslow County beaches and North Topsail, you're under that tropical storm warning for Dennis. Now, where's Dennis going? We'll answer that in a few moments. But this evening, some of the clouds left over or from the western side of Dennis will move into the area. You might see a stray sprinkler or two, and temperatures falling into the 70s throughout the evening. Northwest winds, too, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Let's check Skywatch Neighborhood Network from Alltel. Takes us outside to the backyard. Northwest winds, 10 to 15 miles per hour now. 82 degrees on the temperature, and very dry out there. 81 in Southport with a northwest wind. In general, about 5 to 10 miles per hour there. Check a Skywatcher. We go to Odin Barrett in Whiteville, 80 degrees and no rainfall for him. Temperature-wise now, low 70s where the clouds and the rains from Dennis have taken over in Elizabeth City and Norfolk, Virginia. 80s where the sun has been out all day. 84 here in Wilmington now. 83 in Fayetteville. 82 in Myrtle Beach. As of 5 o'clock, here's the latest on Dennis. 35.5 north, 74.0 west. That's 90 miles east of Cape Hatteras. It's slowly moving to the west about 3 miles per hour or so. Maximum sustained winds are at 60 miles per hour, but the hurricane hunters found a flight level winds about 55, and the surface winds are generally, the Hurricane Center uses the flight level winds to estimate the surface winds, 80% of that. So 80% of 55 is about 40 or so. So probably a little bit weaker than that, but certainly we'll keep an eye on it. Minimal pressure out there still coming up. Now, here's the forecast for Dennis hugging the coast by 2 p.m. on Saturday, being just offshore. Emphasis, it is going to stay offshore just like it did as a hurricane. Now, what this means is that maybe some tropical storm force winds, that means 40 miles per hour or greater, 60 officially for the highest offshore on Friday and Saturday on the beaches. Now, I think possibly, I'm cautiously optimistic the winds will be much less than this, especially along the coast and especially here in Wilmington and coastal communities such as Charlotte, Hampstead, Burgaw, and especially farther inland, places like Whiteville, Lumberton, Fayetteville, winds will be like 10 or 20 miles per hour of that. But we will keep an eye on it, and I think it will be much more of a wind issue and a sea issue than it will be a rain issue, because there's very little rain with this on the radars. So there you go. We'll keep an eye on it just in case. 67 tonight, clouds on the increase, a stray sprinkle, northwest winds. Tomorrow, a few clouds, a few peaks of sun, 84 for the high, northwest to north winds, 15 to 25 miles per hour. 6-day forecast. Dennis wants to meander and just loves us so much. He just can't get enough of Wilmington. He wants to hang out, bring us some clouds and off and on showers. But again, like I said, it will be more rough seas, a stiff breeze, and hopefully will not bring us to our knees. I'm a poet. How do you like that?
You had to rhyme, didn't you?
Yeah, George has to sing. I have to write cheesy poetry, so there you go. Erica Adams has our kids' art for today, a nice rainbow. And if you like a hurricane kit or like to register for it, please send us a postcard here at News 6, 322 Shipyard Boulevard, Wilmington 28412.
44. 80% of 55.
Yeah, that's about right. So I'm cautiously optimistic that Dennis will be. You remember that storm we had the end of April, beginning of May, where we had a foot of rain? That was more of a problem than Dennis will be in round 2, I think.
All right. Thanks, Mark.